All right, it is 6 o'clock. Before we call our meeting to order, I just want to remind everybody that this meeting is being recorded. If we have anybody that wants to speak during citizen participation tonight, there is a sign-up sheet over on my right on that little wooden desk. So, all of that to say, let's call our meeting to order, please.
Chris Bell.
Yes.
Roger Bridgman.
Yes.
Lisa Elrod.
Yes.
Caitlin Mace.
Yes.
Tammy Palmer.
Yes.
Sherry Schutte.
Yes.
Jennifer Moreland.
Yes.
7 present.
Next, we need an approval and adoption of the agenda.
Second. Motion by Caitlin Mace, seconded by Lisa Elrod to approve and adopt the agenda as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Okay, for the month of November, we are going to review board norms number 5 and 6. We will be involved to our individual level of comfort. Each of us is responsible for airing concerns and/or disagreements during the meeting rather than carrying those disagreements outside of the board meeting. And number 6, we will operate in a courteous and friendly atmosphere, express disagreements with ideas, not individuals. Now, let's do the pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, I think what most of you are here for tonight is some board recognition. I know we have some student of the quarter kids to recognize. Roger?
Good evening. We always like this part of our meeting because we actually get to see people out here and have people in front of us, so that's really good. Sometimes there's only 2 or 3 or 4 out here, and we appreciate that. But we appreciate all you being here tonight. You know, it's we're in the children business, and that's why you're here, I'm sure, as well, because you have some that are a part of that. And we want to recognize them tonight for their outstanding achievements and things that they're doing in their buildings. We appreciate what our teachers do and our principals, faculty, and staff every day that they're giving and pouring into these kids, that hopefully that one day they will grow up and lead our communities and our places to be a better place. So we're going to get started with that. We'll start with our elementary first.
All right, we're going to start with kindergarten. I have Tony Dilladine. Come on up, buddy.
Can you see right here?
Oh, here, buddy.
Buddy, can you see right here?
Certificate. You want to hold that up for me? Good job. For first grade, we have Miss Emma Jones. Emma here tonight. So we'll get hers presented to her at school tomorrow. Thank you. Next, we have Kyson Russell. Kyson's in 2nd grade. Here you go, buddy. You're going to stand right next to Tony and hold up your certificate. All right, 3rd grade, Zeke Rise. Zeke, are you here? No Zeke tonight. And then for 4th grade, we have Aria Content. Congratulations. There you go. Very proud of you guys and your hard work. You guys will come over here, and then we'll get a picture up here.
Right over there in front of that screen, guys. Coming in hot.
All right, let's hold that up for me, buddy. Great job, guys. Very proud of you. Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get those up tomorrow.
All right, next for our middle school.
All right, we're very proud of our middle schoolers, and we're going to start with our 5th grade student, Colin Portell. And then 6th grade, Adrian Knopfel. All right, right, our 7th grader, Sherlyn Vega Martinez. And certainly last but not least, Lane McGinnis.
Basketball game.
Oh yes, they're playing basketball in the gym right now. Yes, come on over here.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to high school.
Our freshman is Chloe Gassman. Our sophomore is Mackenzie May. Our junior is Mackenzie Jopling. Oh. Somebody put him on. Well, you leave a spot in the middle then. And then, so junior, Cole Tackenhorst. Pointing out, high school's at 100% attendance tonight. Yay. There's that. And then let's hop over here. We'll be out of order, but I'm gonna stick by the short one over here.
Such a looks so short. All right, can we give them all one more round of applause? Great job. Thank you all very much.
Before we go any further with our meeting, we're going to take a couple of minute break for anybody that wants to leave. You're more than welcome to step out. If you want to stay for the rest of our meeting, I mean, we'd love to have you, but I'm sure you have other things to It's already late. Okay. And there's none. Okay. Next up, we have citizen participation. We do have a sign-up sheet. There is nobody signed up to speak tonight. So we're going to move right into the consent agenda items. There's a couple of items on consent agenda. If anybody has questions about any particular items, we can pull those out now. If not, we do need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Tammy Palmer, seconded by Roger Bridgman, to approve the consent agenda items as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Okay. Next up, we have the November bills and the financial statement for those bills. There's been a couple of check runs, a bunch of financial statements to go through.
I have a question.
Shoot.
I don't know who answers this. Do we outsource our copy machines?
Mhm.
We're on a
So
lease.
there was a lease. There was a payment in here for like $207 for repair.
Mhm.
So,
So they come in and repair those when that copier goes down.
Okay.
They'll do maintenance or come in and fix it. I've got a
Okay.
repair
Okay.
personnel.
I was thinking that if we leased them, that they would take care of that.
Yeah, but not part of the agreement.
Gotcha.
They just come
Okay.
in and, yeah, service.
Gotcha.
Okay, good question. Any other questions? Any motion to pay the bills?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Lisa Alrod, seconded by Roger Bridgman, to approve the financial statement and action on the November bills as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed?
Abstain.
5 yes, 2 abstain.
All right, let's move into administrative reports. So first up, we have board and committee reports. Dr. Davidson has a little slideshow pulled up here on this projector. This is just kind of following back up on our regional meeting that we attended in September, I believe it was, in Herman. One of the pieces from that regional meeting was putting information out to our community for potential board candidates. And so we have put together this slideshow. It has not been released yet on our website because there are a couple of pieces of information that we need to update after things are approved tonight. But I wanted everybody just to see this so the board is aware of what goes out before it hits the public. Like, you know, you all need to be aware of it. I think it does a really good job just identifying things. If you want to scroll through real quick. So you can just see real quick, you know, this is what's going to go out to our public. So obviously we have 2 seats open. I feel like there's a lot of things that will be answered in this that if you did not know, like there's some misinformation of what being a board member actually means. What does that actually look like? And a lot of that is answered in here. I mean, it's not going to answer every single thing, but it does a good job. So anybody that's looking, that wants to be a board member, they'll at least have some sort of idea. So we are looking to roll this out maybe as early as tomorrow, but probably Monday. It can hit our website. We can shoot it out via social media, just like with some sort of link that people can click on. There are additional resources in this PowerPoint slide that, you know, if they want to see what board agendas look like, if they want to see financial statements. There's a really good video that is linked in here from MSBA. I can't remember who the person is that speaks during it, but the video is very informative. I mean, it touches on everything that's in this presentation already, but it goes more in depth, and it's a really good video to watch. So, anyway, you all are aware, and thank you for being board members as well. It's a pretty thankless job, so. Right?
Thank you for leading us.
Yes, do my best. Okay, does anybody else have anything for board and committee reports?
Only thing I've got is Dr. Davidson, Advocacy Day, March 11th. You got that?
I
think
haven't
you did.
seen that date yet.
Okay. Summer Summit is June the 16th. I think that's in Branson.
It is in Branson.
And then MSBA annual meeting, they left it in October about the same time, so it's the 23rd through 25th this year, same place in Kansas City.
Thank you, Sherry. All right, let's move into building principal reports. Let's just go ahead and start in elementary, as we usually do. Your report is great. There's a lot of information in it.
thanks.
Can you give us one win that's maybe not in your report?
Our new signs are officially in for our gymnasium, and the Lings stopped by to take a picture, present the check to us. So we're super excited to get those hung up in the gymnasium. We have, for those of you that don't know, we have new signs that were donated by a community member that goes along with our school slogan with our 3 B's of be respectful, be responsible, be your best. And the other one just says, welcome to Cuba Elementary. So nice to have that up into the gym, a little more welcoming since we host a lot of sporting events and community events in that gym. So they look really good. We were excited to have them come in. So you should see them up shortly as soon as we get the maintenance request in.
Good deal.
All good
That's
there.
exciting.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, middle school as well. You have a lot of good information in here. There's some wins, like exit tickets all being completed and things like that. So good job. Is there anything that you want to highlight for
Yes, we had our first quarter attendance incentive this week, or last night. We had 257 kids that qualified that missed at least 2 or less days for first quarter. And then we ended up with 117 kids showing up last night. And they played bingo, which is one of their favorite things to do. And Miss Bailey organizes all of that through Stuco, and had 30 prizes that were won last night. And then on Tuesday, we plan to have our second annual CMS Thanksgiving Day Parade. Our 8th grade students and our 5th grade students make parade floats in their science classes, and I believe the kindergarten is a part of that. They get to come down to the gym, and then the kids come through the gym and parade their floats that they've made in science class. So a lot of really cute ones, a lot of fun ones, very creative, crafty designs with that. So that's kind of our new tradition now, so we hope we can keep that going. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Thank you. And to point out, make sure that you guys look at the dates for both middle school and high school. There are some upcoming events, like some plays that are happening in your building as well as in high school. We have band and choir concerts coming up. So, I mean, our kids do have some great stuff here. Just get out and take advantage of it because we have awesome humans here. All right, high school report. Can you give us a win as well?
So yesterday was our first Unified Champions kickball tournament hosted at school. So Mrs. Abdanova, while she's not doing student council this year, she did kind of take the lead on us being like, there's steps to it, but being a fully unified champions school, which this is where, I don't, if you're not familiar, you basically put the reg ed kids with the students with special needs, and they all get together on a team. And so it was a very enjoyable event yesterday, and the kids seemed to really enjoy it, even though it was a hair cold. But I think March we have another something planned. I think it's an indoor basketball tournament or something like that. So, but yeah, all the kids got to go out and enjoy it yesterday. So
That has been a passion for some students that have left our district that really wanted to get some Special Olympic items planned. So I'm glad to see that happening. Special education report.
Mrs. Shoemaker emailed me today the growth that my students had on the evaluate scores was a big improvement.
Good.
We're full inclusion, so we're seeing the gains of that. So
Good.
yeah, it's very awesome.
Good job. All right, student rep report.
I think that my win would probably be the Special Olympics game. Got about 38 kids signed up. That was mine and Kaylin's big thing. Ryan and Cameron from the football team, I think Cameron also plays basketball, I believe. They were in charge of like promoting it and getting kids to sign up for like a couple months. And I think they'll probably take the lead with March too.
Okay.
So when me and Kaylin leave, it'll probably get passed on to them.
Good deal. And you have a lot of information in your report, so that also just highlights all of the stuff that's happening, even especially in our high school. So thank you for your report. Assistant Soup report.
Yeah. I just wanted to highlight really quickly our Grow Your Own grant. Our Grow Your Own committee is working towards building a future teacher program. I'm very passionate about that, and it's been something I've wanted to do for several years. So I'm excited to be working with Mrs. Meese, Ms. Holbert, and Mrs. Baus. They actually get to go after Thanksgiving break to tour the Washington Four Rivers Career Center. They have a future teacher program there as well. So the goal is that next year we'll be able to offer some dual credit classes to our juniors and seniors towards getting their degree in education. So we're very excited about that.
Perfect. Thank you. You're welcome. And Superintendent report.
Yeah. So super excited, our roof maintenance is completed. So no one hardly ever gets to see it, but by the good work of Mr. Roman's there and his drone. When you look at our homepage and there's an aerial, all the white is what we maintain to keep the roof protected from the UV rays. So you do get to see it if you go on the webpage and look at the aerial, but it's good to just keep our rooms dry and buildings dry. So I'm excited about that. Got that
If you have
project
not
wrapped up.
checked out that aerial shot on the webpage, it is a really cool thing too, by the way. Just
Mhm.
really cool thing. Okay. Cut you off. Do you have anything else?
No, we have plenty for the rest of the
Okay.
meeting, good stuff,
Okay.
but.
All right, let's move into unfinished business. First up, we have a 24-25 budget update, and we need to approve some budget amendments.
Mhm. So, current revenues year to date, we've brought in 49.73%, and current expenditures year to date is 81.36%. We have some budget amendments that I'll ask you to approve. And we do those in November, March, and then June, and that just helps keep a more accurate record. And so for the November, a lot of that is with title, because it's a process to get all those approved and accounts adjusted. So Valley Becker has submitted a new report, which is great, so it makes it simpler when it's approved. Can hit a button, all those trickle into our software account, so that's why it looks slightly different, but it is just cleaning up the process and make it a little more simple.
So there is a list of budget amendments in your packet. If there's not questions, we do need a motion to approve the budget amendments.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Tammy Palmer, seconded by Chris Bell, that the budget amendments be approved as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
All right, next up for unfinished business, we have a ton of policy and regulation updates. I hope you took time to read all of them. And there's a lot, so it would have taken you maybe, I don't know, a week to read them all. If anybody has a question about something in particular, please ask it now. Or if you don't have a question, and we're good to go, let's approve them.
I was questioning, or not questioning, curious about the Holocaust policy. It didn't specify what grade levels those would be in.
So
It said 6,
we just
7,
have to
8.
cover it within that grade range. And
Okay.
so, working with Mrs. Shoemaker, we did have an adjustment in our ELA curriculum with the new study sync that we started last year. So we're looking at 8th grade covering Holocaust in the ELA classroom.
Okay.
And then 5th grade touches on it briefly. And then in the high school, of course, it's in the world history class.
Gotcha. Just curious about that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions?
I'm glad to see these updates.
Yeah.
They were long overdue.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Roger Bridgman, seconded by Lisa Elrod, to approve and adopt the following policies and regulations. Policies 1210, 2220, 2340, 3470, 4130, 4315, 4505, 4506, 4515, 4560, 5550, 6121, and 6191. And regulations 1210, 2340, 2785, 4221, 4515, 6190, and 6191 as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
All right, let's move into new business. Next up, we have to set our board reorganization meeting date. So we like to do that around this time of year, so anybody that wants to put their name in the hat to become a Board of Education member at least knows, and they can tentatively plan when the reorganization date is going to be. So I know it's a little bit early. I mean, we're talking, looking at your calendar in April. but
I know. I do think we have the certified election results by the 15th, the latest. Which I think it was Tuesday.
It is.
Yeah, the 15th is Tuesday.
what is our time frame, Angela, that we have to have that done by?
The last day you could do it is April 22nd.
Okay. One option to look at is, April 17th is the third Thursday in April. You could potentially have a reorganization meeting at 5 o'clock, have your board meeting at 6 o'clock. We have done that before.
Works well.
If you are not looking to have it the same night, you know, it's, the reorganization does not usually take a long time. So that's just to throw some options out there.
Saves you not having to have 2 meetings or be gone out of your, with
Yes.
your home kids for 2 or 3 days. So, does everybody like that idea?
Oh, good.
What was the date?
17th, our normal third Thursday. So I'll make that motion.
A second. Motion by Roger Bridgman, seconded by Tammy Palmer, to set the board reorganization meeting for Thursday, April 17th, 2025 at 5 p.m. All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about our administrative salary schedule. This particular salary schedule has not been adjusted for quite some time. I think we can go back to 2018, the last time that it was touched. So it's definitely long overdue. And you'll also see a little bit, well, the next item, we're looking at splitting these two schedules. So currently we have an administrative salary schedule, and it has anybody from superintendent to nurses and bookkeepers on it. So you're gonna see, like, in the next motion that, you know, not only are we separating that, but also approving those changes as well. There were a lot of hours that went into this. And an administrative salary schedule is really difficult to look at because it's really hard to find, it's really hard to find comparisons. It's hard to find what other people are doing. So I'm gonna turn it over to you because you did a lot of this
sure.
work. So if
Yeah.
you'd like to speak on anything else
Yeah.
in particular.
So it's really just looking at considerations, if we have someone retire or resign, just filling that position, wanting to make it marketable. So just, it hadn't been touched since 2018-19, so just adjusting that. And so benefits are having a current schedule, when we go to post positions, if we have people looking at that and they pull it up, then they would know where they'd start year 1, step 1, or whatever their education is on that. So I think pretty comparative. And competitive to other surrounding school districts. And the goal, just like we did with our certified and classified staff, is to help attract and retain. So doing that same with the administrative salary schedule, and use those same concepts as we'll see in the next agenda item for the other schedules. So I appreciate everybody's efforts that helped with this as well, and any questions and conversations regarding it. So.
Thank you for all the work you put in on it to where we could understand.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that was very.
And I've got a whole list of my rationales and reasonings and processes, but there's probably 20 hours plus just trying to make sure, and always want to be fair and equitable and following the same process with all our staff. So apply those concepts to us abilities there as well.
I think it was an eye-opener that it was not updated since 2018, and you go back and you think, we've had such a turnover in admin lately, and what's going on, what are we doing wrong? But then when you look at the salary schedule, it was like, oh, we didn't get this updated, it's not current. So I'm hoping that we fixed that problem. Okay, stay. Nobody's leaving.
Seatbelts on, girls.
Glue you to your chair.
If we approve this, you guys commit to at least
It might be.
5 more, maybe 10 more, all right?
Really You might have to share if we don't. Is that what we do? Okay.
I'm sure somebody doesn't want that.
Gotcha.
Sherry, you have any questions for Roger?
No, you guys
You guys did great.
you did, and we broke it down very well for us to understand. It is overdue.
I know it's a lot of information to take in. So the salary committee board-wise was Chris and Tammy and myself. So I know that we definitely had our questions answered ahead of time, just by sitting through those meetings or through the meetings. So,
We had questions pop up, and Dr. Davidson jumped right on them and cleared it up for us.
Once or twice in like
Yeah,
different,
now,
different
at
ways,
least
I would say.
Yeah.
once or twice.
Well, even breaking those
Anytime.
schedules apart
Yeah.
is beneficial because there was multiple factors and career paths and looking at so many different variables. But we got it. We got it, I think, in a good place. It looks like it.
so if there's not any more questions, no more discussion, we need a motion to approve the admin salary schedule for 25-26 school year.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by Chris Bell, seconded by Sherry Schutte to approve the administrative salary schedule as presented for the 2025-2026 school year. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
And we can move right into what is now called our director and professional salary schedule. This salary schedule, you can see at the bottom of it, it has your tech coordinator, your nurses, your bookkeeper, your secretary, maintenance and custodian and bus, the heads of those departments. I think breaking this out just kind of makes sense. It also gives you just, I don't know, more opportunity that if you needed to make an adjustment to, you know, one section of it. It's just easier to look at a few people versus 18 or 19, 20
Yeah.
individual positions. Any questions for the director and professional salary schedule? Is there a motion to approve it?
You gotta pull, however you wanna do that,
You want to abstain?
for the whole thing?
It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine, you can do
We have a motion. Motion by Caitlin Mays, seconded by Lisa Elrod, to approve the director and professional salary schedule as presented for the 2025-2026 school year. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed?
Fine.
6 yes, 1 abstain.
All right, again, I appreciate everybody's work that went into that. It was a task that I'm not sure people wanted to tackle, but it's done. Thank you so much. Let's move into, we have to approve an addition to the high school handbook regarding tardies or late to school. So you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah.
More so than what's in the packet?
Yeah, so I'm working with Mrs. Meesey, just looking at some attendance and trying to identify ways to address students getting here. We have students come in 20 minutes late, it's 20 minutes, and so our ADA is calculated on hours, not days. So if we had 3 kids stay and are coming late, there's an hour we lost, or some would like to hang out for their buddies to get here and then come in. So just looking at that, pulled the same verbiage out of our middle school handbook and then modified it for high school to put some accountability there. And Mrs. Meesey, would you like to speak to that in here?
Yeah, and I don't know why it's not in there to begin with, because it is in middle school, and we do, so tardies, we already do. So if they're within the 7:40 to 7:45, they're just tardy. And we have consequences for that. But we just really want to put tardies / lates, because anything after 7:45, I mean, I've got one kid with 20 lates, 0 tardies, 20 lates, just strolling in whenever they feel like it. So I just feel like that's going to curb some of that behavior if they know that they're going to have to sit in lunch detention or after school detention or something like that. So, and then that's going to help us so we don't have, tardies don't count against our attendance, but the lates do. So we got to figure out a way to get them in the building on time.
And to kind of speak to the rationale, I think that I've seen multiple changes to this policy since I've been on the board, and I think it's just with different admin in the building, different philosophies, different situations at hand. That's why it's changed throughout the years. So, and just to go in a little bit more into your addendum, this will not start until the kids come back.
We'll do
from
a
Christmas
semester,
break.
it's a clean time to do it.
Yeah.
I'll give the high school admin team all of December to communicate that to parents and students, so they know expectations.
As the state's appointments and things like that don't count towards them being late, right?
No, if
As
it's
long as it's
verified,
documented
right.
in like a doctor's note or whatever.
Well, it does count against their attendance, but they're
Right, but
excused.
this, they
right.
wouldn't have a,
No, so if they come in from a doctor's appointment, they're just Vs, just verified, so yeah.
okay.
And they typically hand us the note when they walk in the door, so.
So does elementary and middle school already have this late thing going
Middle
on?
school does.
Okay.
Elementary, theirs is a little different, because it's really hard to punish a little kid when his
Right.
parent isn't
Right.
there
They don't
on time,
drive.
so.
That's
But when mine are sitting in the parking lot and just don't wanna walk in the door.
I get it.
it's a little
I
different.
know.
Can you explain
Or
a
they
little
go to
bit more though?
McDonald's.
So you said that it's going to be after 7:45.
Yep.
So your first hour is what, 7:40 to
8:45.
8:45?
Yeah.
So if they come in and they're here for second hour, are they still, do they just get an absence from first hour
Yes.
and then they're not late?
If they make it before that tardy bell for second hour, then they're just verified. They're just
Okay.
absent, yeah.
Okay. So basically it's more like 7:45 to 8:20 or, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
So, and they may find, I mean, I can't catch them all, and some of them might decide, well, I'm just gonna wait and not come to first
Of
hour at
course.
all. But to catch it, I mean, what eventually happens if they would try that, is once they hit 600 minutes of any 1 hour, it puts them over their 10-day, and now they're losing credit. So I don't know that that's gonna be their thought, is that, okay, I'll just miss the
Well,
whole hour.
and if it is, then
There's
that's their
consequences for that
responsibility,
too.
you know,
consequences, yeah.
that's their,
Absolutely.
that's on them, so. Okay,
That's how we do it.
if there are not any other questions, we do need a motion to approve this addition to the handbook.
I'll make that motion.
Second it. Motion by Caitlin Mays, seconded by Lisa Elrod, to approve the addition to the high school handbook as presented. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
All right, next up, we need to approve the girls varsity basketball co-op with Iron County for the 24-25 season. It sounds like we really,
I don't have anything on that, do you?
there's nothing in your actual
Oh, okay.
computer, it's just on the addendum.
Gotcha.
If you go there, you can read about it a little bit more in depth.
Not in my file.
So, do you want to kind of give the history of how this,
Oh,
how we
sure.
came about to this point?
Yeah,
And I need to-
By Burnham had reached out to some surrounding districts to see if they could co-op, because they had a low number of participants for girls varsity basketball, and so those surrounding schools did not accept them, so then they can reach out to us, and we had a lower number as well. So just in working with their superintendent, opportunity, and AD, and coaches, just getting that set up, so it'll be good for both their students and ours, and just a big key is just giving kids opportunities when we can, and so should be a good season. Looking forward to that. We have already filled out the application. It's been approved by MISHA, but just to make sure we're in compliance with the bylaws, this is the first board meeting we've had since, and so we just need board approval. Just it helps MISHA know that we're all in agreement, having it approved by the board. And Burnham's doing the same thing with CPE as well, so be a good opportunity for our athletes.
I'd say kudos to QF for doing what's best for kids.
Absolutely.
Because that's kind of a rude situation when you ask, like, kids play basketball and have a basketball season and they don't allow that to happen from everybody else. So kudos to you guys and to Cuba. Coach, thank you for working with these teams.
All right.
Make a motion that we approve that.
I second it.
Motion by Lisa Elrod, seconded by Roger Bridgman, to approve the girls varsity basketball co-op with Iron County C4 for the 2024-25 season. All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? 7 yes.
I just want to thank you also for the very uplifting, positive words that you put out, like on the weekly Facebook post, that kind of talks about our sports. I think just bringing as much positivity
Yes.
and highlighting that situation as much as we can is it's welcomed. So thank you so much.
Along with your kid stories, I love those.
I know.
Those are my favorite.
All right, let's move into a 7th, 8th grade football discussion. Last month we had a resident agenda item about 7th, 8th grade football, and so Mrs. Dace is here tonight to give us some numbers, some more information, answer any questions. Also, Coach Duarte is here if you have questions specifically for him. This is a great time to ask. We're not necessarily looking for a motion one way or the other, but just for everybody to gain as much information as we can and then move forward with a decision. So, Taylor, do you want to give us some information? I mean, is there anything more in depth you want to go into on the numbers that you presented in the packet?
I think the numbers are pretty accurate. I think if we had anything additional to add, Coach Duarte could do that from a football standpoint, but I think from a logistics standpoint and from numbers, I think those are pretty accurate for you. So I think I would pass that to the.
So we're looking at like a season cost with all equipment at a little over $45,000.
Correct.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
what your numbers say.
And with this, these days, base these off athletes instead of 25, so that's where there would be a discrepancy with that cost from the last presentation with this one, or the difference there. Just trying to get probably more realistic numbers.
Yep.
You want to talk about referees with having two groups? Because I think tonight we kind of need to look at all pros and cons, just to have all the information out there. So I don't want to short that, because I don't know the board's going to know what questions asked Mr. Duarte. So kind of our conversation, we have 3 groups of referees, but really try to utilize 2.
Yes,
You want to
so
expand on that?
how the football referees work, there's groups or crews, and we have 3 main crews in South Central. Currently, Cuba only wants to use 2 because one of them's not great. So we've had some issues with one. So usually middle school football games are on Thursdays. If I say anything incorrect about football, let me know, because I'm not a football person. But that would just throw, I mean, some of the surrounding schools have middle school football also. It is a busy day for all sports with volleyball, softball, and football. So we could run into a shortage there, a little bit of an issue there. Our practice area, we have discussed multiple areas, but on the current practice field, over by Old Central, we could kind of clear that area out, or right behind the softball field. They're all options.
And we're leasing a machine that will paint football lines, so that could be beneficial in setting up a practice field in another location. Would be pretty accurate. So
just push a button and watch it.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
What we're told.
Let's see. My goal would be 6 games. That's a goal. I have not talked to anybody about scheduling really yet, but it would be all surrounding schools. Hopefully 3 home and 3 away games. So that would be ideal. I would try to push back middle school. Mr. Shoemaker, cover your ears. I would try to push back middle school basketball season to line up with the 4 Rivers schools, so then middle school football would have its little time, and then I would have basketball more so in late November, December, and January, and end it by February. So it would overlap with high school basketball, so that we could see a little coaching overlap too, possibly.
Would we lose schools then for basketball, would we lose schools that we would typically compete against by pushing that season back?
We would lose our GBC schools and the smaller schools, but we would play the Four River schools and the bigger schools that we play in high school. So actually, with pushing our middle school basketball season later would line us up more accurately with how the high school boys play. So they would get more experience with that. Right now, if we keep it around the same, we'd play like our GBC schools, Bourbon and Viburnum, and all the smaller schools. Smaller schools have earlier seasons. The bigger schools have the later seasons.
We have a later season this year that
Yes, we do.
that we are
Yes.
playing in for middle school
Yes.
basketball.
So Quad County, those would not be our opponents then, probably for middle
Correct.
school?
Correct. No. No, Quad County is a little too far. The Quad County is the football conference, and they're just too far for middle school.
I was just thinking
well-
size-wise that they would be.
You're asking for middle school football, I'm sorry. The Quad County, we would consider it. Would we have to?
If we had to.
I was just thinking size-wise, that maybe that would be a good idea. But
Yes, because I would think half of them have middle school football, not all of them. So
it is a long way.
it is a long way for a middle school game.
Yeah.
So I would prefer closer games, but
Would we have to move middle school basketball season back? I mean, we do dual sport already in middle school. You know, like your cross-country season overlaps with basketball. So we already do that. Would we have to move that season back?
we would not have to. But yes, we do allow dual sporting. I had 2, maybe 3 middle schoolers attempt to do that with cross country and basketball, and 2 of them ended up just choosing basketball because it was just too much. So the dual sporting, while we offer it, I think the kids get into it and they realize that it's just a little too much for them. So I don't want to take away from, yeah, the middle school's always been able to do it. High school, same thing, that we had a few kids do it, but they decided just to stick with one sport. I think if we would have to almost separate the schedules if we wanted the max amount of participation for both teams.
Do you use the same basketball refs for middle school as you do for basketball? So will we have a shortage during that time? I mean, for high school?
They overlap a little bit. Some overlap, yes. Basketball is easier to find than football. I'm not worried about basketball.
So when did you say the middle school season would start?
For football or basketball?
Football.
Football would start about a week after regular high school season.
After, okay. That's what I was trying to comprehend. So the numbers, with how many kids we're looking at, I mean, are you feeling confident that you would have enough for a program rather than a year of it?
The youth program, when we took over a few years back, we started flag football, and that's really bumped up the numbers for the younger guys. So the 6th grade class has quite a few kids, and the 5th and 4th too as well.
Can I ask a question before you go on, and I forget to ask this? When you say your numbers have increased though, how many of those, like, have you looked at how many kids are from Cuba versus from surrounding areas? Because you don't have to live in Cuba to play youth football here.
I don't know the last 2 years after
Okay.
we left the board, but I would say at least 90 and 95% of the kids in those grades that I know of were from Cuba. There were a few kids from Viburnum and Stillville.
Did you guys do a survey of the kids that would want to play? If you had basketball and football, cross country going on, did you do any kind of a survey of the kids that would want to do this?
Nope, my survey consisted of the numbers that were currently playing football. Current 7th and 8th graders in the youth football program is 11. That's 7th and 8th grade Cuba players, 11. Current 6th graders playing youth football, so would be 7th grade next year, are 17 Cuba players. So I would.
Would you think it would be beneficial to do a survey though, just to see, if they had their choice? And also, if mom and dad are saying, no, you're not.
Yeah, so we discussed a survey, but kids may say yes, but then the parents don't.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
those are kind of hard to.
Well, and I think it's also a little bit difficult whenever you're looking at a survey for middle school because you're just starting a school sanctioned sport. So you also have parents and kids that don't understand that if my grades aren't good, I'm going to be ineligible. Because with youth football, that doesn't, you know, you're not looking at grades. That's a whole new concept for parents and kids to have to look at.